And then the official visit usually is your senior year, and typically those happen after you've already decided to go to the school. Some schools have stopped doing them because it's kind of after the fact. So ask those questions if that's important for you. Do you have your seniors come and do the official visit? Those are all things to ask. So I talked about the campus tours. And sometimes, so at my school, the campus visit, my admissions does it for us. At UC Irvine, we did it ourselves. At USC, we did it ourselves. So we walked everybody around. So, right, for our school, different, ask those questions. Okay? So if you're really interested, and most of the coaches are walking the recruits around, but for you, it's admissions walking you around, then maybe you can get the level of their interest too. Some of those things. We talked about the majors. Do they have your classes? Important to ask too, just because you're UCLA, but and not just UCLA, but some of the UC schools, my school, very small. If you want to be a nurse, it's going to be tough. So ask those questions. Do your practice times go outside of the major that you're looking at? That's really important. Very, very important. You can ask, what time do you practice? Some colleges practice at 6 a.m. Do you want to practice at 6 a.m.? I don't know. Ask those questions. When do you guys practice typically? In the fall and in the spring, because it can change. So at SC, we got the great practice time. Now it's different because they have a big gym. But we got a great practice time in the fall when it was our season, but in the spring, we were at 6:30, 6 o'clock. So ask those questions. Again, it's what you guys want. Ask if you get hurt. Ask them if your scholarship is honored. Is it for 4 years? Is it for a year? So there's some schools that you can do a contract for 4 years now. Okay. Ask those questions. If you're walking on, is there a possibility to get a scholarship? Okay, so when they ask you that, am I a recruited walk-on or am I just a walk-on? So ask some of those questions. What does that mean? So recruited walk-on will get everything. So you'll get uniforms, you'll get to eat where they eat, some of that, maybe just a non-recruited walk-on, you're filling a roster spot, you won't get to travel, you might not get to eat, you might not get some of the benefits. So ask those questions if you're in that situation. Always good to go to their camp. Always good to go to their camp if you're interested. See how they interact, see how they coach. You'll get to meet the players. All right. And then another tip, when you go and you're really interested in the schools that you're looking at, so you're down to maybe year 3 or 5, when you go on your visits and you're connecting with the girls, don't forget to get their cell numbers or their emails so you can ask them questions. Okay? You want to be able to connect with them. They're going to be your lifeline. Also, connect with the people that are closer to you. The process sometimes now is so far out, by the time they get there, nobody that they really liked when they went on their visit is there, or they're gone. So make sure you connect to the people that are closer to you. A lot of schools, once they get their recruiting class, they'll have you guys communicate, talk to each other, visit together. Okay, so you know your group that you're, most of the time freshmen live together, eat together, classes together, so that's your group that's going to be your lifeline when you go in. Any questions? All right, I'll just keep going. I can talk. Make sure it's a fit, as I said before, and make sure that athletically, academically, and financially. Okay, so parents, as you're going through that. When do you start? You can start the recruiting process whenever you want. If you haven't started, look at it. Start looking at it. Where would I want to go? What are the schools? Call the coach. Talk to them. I know it's hard. It's terrible. I would have been scared to death at your age too. So, but you've got to learn to, make that connection with them. So, you can call them. They can't always call you back. Keep trying until you're I don't know all the rules. You'll have to go to the NCAA website to figure out what applies. We can call you, Division II can call you a little bit earlier than Division I. Most of the time, coaches can't talk to you when you're playing at events. Know that they can only talk to you after. But you can always call them. That was, I forget what school it did, but they would literally just stand right next to the person they were playing and they would be talking to them on the phone. So there's ways. Coaches figure creative ways. I'm going to call you, it's going to ring once, and you're going to hang up and then you're going to call me back. Figure it out. So when you sign, so a letter of intent, and some have financial aid, national letter of intent, very big now at high schools, the signing date, we just had it a couple of weeks ago, I believe, right? So they can mail it to you, now they can email it to you, but it's very cool. So, and again, what I tell my kids when I was at, even if they're a walk-on kid, you can create a financial aid agreement or you can create a sheet that says so they actually can sign. So you don't have to feel left out in that whole process. It's actually a very cool event that happens now at high schools. Let's say to go to college, and I know this is happening, it's happening in club, right? Go to this club, then you go to that club, then you go to the next club, and you guys are switching all the time. You go to the college and it's not what you want. So there's always that question in your first year. Am I happy? Do I stay? What do I do? And it's happening a lot. There's a lot of transfers. What I say is the more research you do, the less that will happen, hopefully. But as you go into programs, again, if playing is important, and you go there and there's 2 seniors and 2 juniors ahead of you in your position, you're probably gonna sit for a couple years. So again, look at that. Again, it's all about what do you want out of your experience, and be very clear on that in the recruiting process and with the coaches. Typically, you don't transfer after your second year. It can happen, coaching change, things like that. I just say, just be honest. Okay, just be honest. End of the year meeting, I know you're terrified, you have to go in and talk to the coach, but go in and tell them how you feel. Or they may tell you, hey, you know what, we're gonna recruit 4 kids ahead of you next year that are better than you. What's that telling you? Telling you you're probably gonna be sitting again. But if you like the school and you like the kids and you wanna be there, again, take the information for what it's worth, okay? Every coach is a little bit different. Anything else? Questions? You guys are really quiet. I feel like I'm just talking. Yes.
One question. You were talking about for them to know, if there were seniors, juniors, how many ahead of them in a particular position. So when they check out the school, will they know?
You can go look at their roster online. Okay. It'll have it up there. You should be able to see that.
And it'll have all the positions.
Yeah, that for sure. And then, I mean, like you said, they'll have that. There'll be maybe some transfers, or they might get some people coming in. So ask those questions. Hey, who do you have coming in this class? What positions do you have coming to? You can ask them those questions. That'll give you a good idea. I don't know. You guys are taking good notes. Yes.
So when do the coaches look at the players? Is it usually their junior years that you look at?
I think top Division I schools are like, they're recruiting 8th graders, honestly. They are. They're down the chain. They'll have transfers, so they'll come back, but they're recruiting multiple years. Division II, I'm already looking at sophomores. I have most of my juniors, or some juniors, and then my incoming class. So we're doing multiple years, a lot of us, I think a lot of schools, but again, if you're a senior, don't fret. There's a lot of opportunity. And I think this is what happens in the process is your teammates start going, I'm going here, and I'm going here, and I'm going here, and you don't have your scholarship. You're like, oh my gosh, don't panic. Don't panic. There's a lot of opportunities, and there's a lot of good things that are still, that will open up. There's a lot of opportunity, I'm telling you. So, If you're late in the process, the same thing. But I think that's what happened. People panic and then they take a scholarship and then they go there, and that's where we're having a lot of transfers too. And then, so the process, and I know parents do it too. Oh, my kid's going to USC or mine's going to UCLA. You know, you get that too, and then people feel like, well, gosh, mine's only going to Concordia. It's Division II. Well, be happy, we won a national champion. We have won a national championship when there's one conference. So look at those things too. Like I said.
Another question.
Yes.
Oh, I was just, she started to ask that too, but, so are the coaches, are they just looking at club? Is that how they go and look at the girls? Or are girls contacting them to have the coaches come and look at them? How does the actual process?
I think it's both. I mean, all of the above. I mean, we're calling people, hey, you know what, we're looking for an outside. We call clubs, we go to club. Usually high school, we'll go if we can. I know Texas came out to watch a kid, an 8th grader, during their season. The head coach came out. We probably, I don't have the luxury to do that. So a lot of times during the season, we try and make it to the high school matches. But for us, we practice 4 to 6, which is right during high school match times too. So the fall, we weren't able to get out a lot. But it's everything. Have your club director, your club coaches call for you. I mean, they know too. Just get the word out. I mean, it's just word of mouth. You know, hey, I got this player. I need this player. Set up a visit. Go talk. I mean, I think that's the best way. And then you'll figure it out. I mean, you'll go to a campus and you'll go, not for me. And I would say do a variety, because you might be surprised. When you go on campus, you go, gosh, this is really cool. I didn't think I'd like a small school or a big school or vice versa, or East Coast or however it is. I know April Ross and Katie Oslowski, when we're on SC's team, we got shipped out for the first and second round one year. We went to Duke, and they were like, it was beautiful. And they weren't looking to leave. They wanted to stay exclusively West Coast. So they did not look, but they were like, gosh, this was cool. If I had been open, you know, so if is always the, you know, so be open. Be open, and like I said, you guys are all in the driver's seat. So research, do your homework.
Is it hard to find coaches in other regions or programs in other regions to get to notice you, or to go to Chattanooga or go to North Carolina?
No, just email them. Email them, just say, hey, you know what, we're interested, here's this. Does anyone that you know in club or high school know that coach? Their assistant coaches, or, I mean, it's all networking and connecting. And again, if you're not on their radar, you can put yourself on their radar. So by just contacting. Emails, again, email, you can do YouTube video, really easy. There's recruiting services. You guys have one in your club. There's other ones. They help us. They call me. I call them. Hey, I need this position. They're like, well, we'll talk about this, and then you go see them, and you make connection. And so it's really about networking. So, and they'll be honest, hey, you know what, we don't have a spot, our roster's full, and then you know right away. Or I still want to go there, I want to come, can I try out if you're persistent?